Tingles with flyby. Daily ASMR videos. Hello, how are you doing? It's so good to see you again. Oh, I wasn't sure that you would come back after our last adventure. I hope it wasn't too loud for you. Yeah, I heard there was a little bit of problems with the recipient. Well, it is an art, not a science, quilt making. No, I mean, I shouldn't laugh, but you just seem in such a jovial mood about it. So, well, and I'm surprised to see you anyway, so I assume you must not be too displeased if you've come back again. Well, you know, what's a boss, really? They're meant to come and go, right? So, you back in Tingledom for a visit, or... Oh, so this one's for you. Well, that is much more fun then. Oh, definitely. It's definitely the best way to go. Do it all for yourself. Well, if it is just for you, then we could potentially do some extra enhancements. No, I shouldn't say. Well, I'm not really meant to do enhanced quilts for those who don't live in Tingledom. They're supposed to be Tingledom exclusive. So, if I do this, it has to be between you and me. No one else can know. I mean, I shouldn't even be telling you this. But I think we've, built a bit of rapport through our time together. And that, after our last fiasco, you're still willing to come back. I think that's established a bit of trust. Well, because if you stayed at the inn, which quilt did you stay with? Oh, sorry. Well, I guess most people think of it as the room. I always think of which quilt you were with. I mean, they do go with particular rooms, but there's one in the rotation in one particular room that is actually enhanced. Well, I'm not supposed to say what the enhancement is, but there's a certain magic that can be unlocked as you're assembling fabrics, as they come together, that can be unleashed as the quilt is used. Oh no, I mean a very real magic. Obviously, the emotional side is its own sort of magic and is known throughout the world. Lots of mothers and grandmothers, the occasional uncles, aunts as well, fathers, grandfathers, but quilting has been a traditionally more female province, and that carries its own type of magic for sure. Spell that is very specific, but the magic I'm talking about is a bit more general, works on everyone, but only comes from a very limited source, right here from Tingledom. Now, I of course cannot divulge the secrets of how it's done. That is restricted to very few, very, very few. So, that I can't tell you. But we could go through what sort of enhancements we could get in this quilt for you. But I think we should figure out what we want to do first. Yeah, of course. I can't give it away all at the beginning, could I? Wouldn't be a very good saleswoman if I did that, would I? So, well, have this one hanging around. Just a little jean, kind of a checkerboard one. The coolest part is when you get little bits of pockets in there. I know it's fun, isn't it? This one you can stick your finger into. But you need a bit of fabric, source material to make something like that. Obviously this is for someone else, so that is not for you. Set that down, just bombarded with things. Now I'm kind of thinking we could go something, really traditional quilt block, but I think instead we should go for a true masterpiece. And there's a couple of reasons for that. First of all, I think it's a project I'd like to spend some time with. And I think with your tastes, we need something that will inspire awe. And also, for my part, I really just, if I'm going to enhance something, it's gotta be my best work. So, I can leave it up to you, but so there's a couple ways we can do it. I'm thinking something awe-inspiring. And it more so depends on what sort of scene you're thinking about. And it can be, we can still be really colorful. It could be still a bit abstract, but very splashy, lots of color kind of coming out of the center and beautiful. Or we could do a beautiful nature scene. We could do a beach or mountains or a lake. If there's a particular item that you want, or if you have an image of your mind, I can do kind of portraits as well. Yeah, one that I did, it's actually for another quilter. She had 2 daughters, and both of her daughters were adults, but it's a picture of her holding her 2 daughters, and they were all sitting under a really kind of simple quilt, kind of like this, but it was all, kind of rumpled up because it was sitting across their laps, so you could see every single shadow in there. And it's, these sort of things that are very beautiful and can evoke an emotion and create something that you would never see otherwise. Oh yes, so some who go for nobility and fame might have an image of themselves with a crown on their heads. Some might want to celebrate a sporting achievement, something artistic. There's lots of different options as to what you can do. Yeah, I have a feeling we may take some time to figure this out. So let's just, the best thing to do is kind of take you on a journey and see if anything comes to you, okay? Okay. So what I'm going to have you do is just close your eyes. And lift up the corners of your mouth. When we hold our face in this shape, it'll start to bring images to your mind as to why you have a smile on your face. Some might think of a delicious Thanksgiving dinner. I know that certainly always brings a smile to my face. Some might be taken back to childhood. For some it's something more recent. Is there anything coming to you? Yeah, that's good. A teacher's desk. So, from when you were a child, or 3rd grade, Mrs. Patterson. Okay, and so what sort of classroom? Do you remember like the wall color, the windows are like? like a minty green. Yep. Dingy windows, okay. Like a whole wall of them, or And so if for you, is the focus on the desk, or is it on Mrs. Patterson, or no, you don't want her on it, just more, okay. So is there like a chalkboard? Yep. Anything written on there? Okay, we'll come back to that then. Anything particular on the desk? Pencils, scissors? Okay. So go with pencils, scissors, and a ruler. Metal or wooden? Okay. Any apple on the... No, big cliche. Okay. The desktop, is it more wooden or... wooden. Okay, so I think we, that's kind of delved us in on a bit of detail to give you a bit of idea, so we could do that a few different ways. You could do it as a scene. You can open your eyes, yeah. You could do it as a scene, kind of looking into the classroom, where you can kind of see the desk probably taking up the front little area. But you can still see those windows in the background, maybe a little bit of what's happening outside, a bit of chalkboard, student desks, that sort of thing. If you want it to feel a bit more, 3D and like you're going into the scene, then that's the sort of thing you could do. If you want it to feel still really nostalgic, but you want, just a different feel, we could do it kind of as a top-down view. So as if we're just a bird's eye view looking down on the desk, and the desk could be the quilt. Yeah, so you could have a little paper up in the corner, and we could have it be, one of your assignments. Could have your name on it. I have a machine that can do things in quilting, so we could even get it in your handwriting. Still out of thread, yeah, not printed like ink, no. Still in thread, yeah, it's really cool. So we could get that, kind of have a little assignment off in the corner, see the scissors and everything like that. And maybe, in the main part of the desk, a red pen out to be marking papers, or, and you just have this nice wooden background. Yeah, so for that type, we could do it as a wall hanging, more to hang up. That sort of thing you could do as a bed-sized quilt, but logically for your brain, it's going to probably feel too big if we did it that size. Whereas the scene, obviously, we can kind of play around with the size and it would work either way. Do you have... Yeah, there is something really nice about the cleanliness and the focus of the desk. We could even do it so you have the desk. We could do it a bit off-centered, have an asymmetrical border, so kind of put it in the bottom left hand corner of an asymmetrical border, and just have a little bit of the floor and maybe some of the desks off. A lot darker, so not very much focus, but enough that you can make out a little bit of the details if you just, you see the little feet of the chairs off the edge of the desk. Yeah, okay. So, I don't know why I put this here. Okay, I'm set that on my lap. Yeah, so I'm thinking we have, this is really rough, so is it kind of a rectangular desk, I'm guessing? Okay, and then here you can see a bit of that, but that's fine. And then we could just have some pen papers here, the pen, the cup. Oh, that's really awful. It's okay. Those there. Those rulers aren't really like this. Not that you can see. I'll show you in a sec what I'm trying. Like kind of got an L ruler just to kind of bring things together. And then I'm thinking like a pad. Bind. Just to add a bit of color. So this would be the wood grain. And then this would be like a dark. Okay. So this is what I'm thinking. Is we have the desk. You have your little paper up here. Just some papers that's kind of like, looks like, that maybe the teacher is going to write on next. This is sitting on a little pad, with a little cup there, a little wooden desk. And then here's our asymmetrical border. And in this detailing in here, it'll be a bit shadowy. But that's where you'll be able to see some of just little shadows of desk chairs and that sort of thing. I think it could be fun. Yeah, so with this type of quilt, there are a few different type of enhancements that we could go for. We'll start from the really basic. One is a very simple. So with the quilt, if you kind of wrap it in a particular way, then you would be able to have very realistic memories of particular times of your childhood. So if we're talking about, 3rd grade, you can choose basically any 1 year period, and each time you'd be able to select a particular memory and go back and have, it's not the same as kind of going back and reliving it, but much like your memory kind of the day after it happened rather than, 20 years on type thing. Yeah. So just kind of a memory enhancement is the first one. And that is, restricted to a 1 year period. Usually it is enhanced if it relates to the quilt. So we would make it, probably around the time of Mrs. Patterson. Going on from there, you can get a little bit more specific. So kind of the maximum that we can do is kind of a day in the life. And this is a combination between memory and living. So unlike memory where you have basically no choice over what's happening, this is a one-time enhancement that you can use once, and you can choose one particular day. It's 24 hours, and you can basically relive that day. It doesn't change anything in the past. It's not time travel, really. It's more of a mental exercise, but it is very powerful, and it can change the way you remember things, kind of, if that makes sense. It can really change the way you feel about things, because you feel like you got an opportunity to redo something, or if you had, a really great day that you want to relive it exactly how it was, you can do that too. Yeah. You can see why we have to keep these things under wraps. So that's kind of, though, on the weak end and the strong end is kind of this memory enhancement type effect. The other 3 options that we would have for a quilt like this are some really kind of basic things. One is a very mild anti-anxiety effect. Generally we put the anti-anxiety into bedtime quilts since they get used frequently. It's a very kind of low dosage, but it's not a dosage, but it's very low effect, but pretty much never runs out. And so you can get this anti-anxiety effect. You can have the same thing in a wall quilt, and you do still get the effect. It's just not quite as strong because you don't have that tactile touch of the quilt. Yeah. So it would probably be one that's kind of fun is a flavor enhancer. This is very popular with people who have to live with people who aren't good cooks, but it's really good for anyone. And it's that the quilt enhances the flavor of everything you eat. Now this is a secret. You cannot tell anyone about this enhancement, but you will notice, because you went to the Tingledom Thanksgiving, well, you'll notice they do not have a banquet without a quilt hanging in the halls. I don't really think that matches this quilt. You usually want to have it in a kitchen or a dining area, that sort of thing, so probably not the best match for this, but it's definitely a delicious enhancement. I can't make like rotten food taste good. It's not that sort of thing. It's just kind of things that are a bit bland or a little overcooked or just not quite, just makes them taste like the best version of themselves. Yeah. Now, if I ever have to cook without a flavor enhancement around, I can't even remember how to do it much anymore. I do rely probably a bit too heavily on my quilts, but hey, if you have them. Now, the last one that you can get is also quite strong, but rather than being kind of a long-term effect, it is more, this one, instead of just once, like the 24 hours, this one usually you get 2 or 3 occasions out of it. And it's not that kind of memory time travel thing. For this one, it's a floating ability. And it only lasts for about 2 hours. And this is different from our float tanks. Yeah. No, this is like being able to float up into the atmosphere. It's an amazing way to get a beautiful view. That is definitely restricted to Tingledom. We cannot have people floating off all around outside of Tingledom. And I couldn't let that happen. So that one may not be the best fit usually, because you may get one time and then while it's kind of replenishing, you'd probably not be here anymore. So yeah, well, you can think about it. We can't talk about it over email because, as I said, it can't be spoken about. But I'll figure out a code and you'll know what I'm talking about. But we should eliminate, so that one, yeah, we'll eliminate that one. Flavor enhancement. Okay. And then, are you thinking at all about the 24-hour? Yeah. And then anti-anxiety. Okay. And then memory enhancement. Thinking about that as well. So, if we did the memory enhancement, would you want that to be the 3rd grade? Okay. Yep. And what year is that? Okay. 24 hours, you just set your mind on that one. That one's kind of set by you at the time. Okay, so for anti-anxiety, we'll talk about anti-anxiety pills. So that'll kind of be our code in email. And then the 24-hour memory immersion experience. Why don't we call that gold thread? And then the long term we'll call silver thread. Now I must stress to you, we cannot discuss any of this over email, okay? So you have to remember the code, okay? So if you want the memory enhancement, which is basically for that entire year, you can think of a to be on touch on the rest of it. So with the image, when it's something like this, I always like if you kind of do a bit of Google image searching, find the type of wood that speaks to you, any sort of desk scenes, just so I can get a really firm idea on the mode and the feel of what you're, thinking. Even if we can find something that looks really similar, if we can draw more of that nostalgia, then that's what I'm really looking for in that. So just any images you get, shoot those through, and really consider what enhancement you want. Because I can't guarantee that I'll be able to do an enhancement on another one. We'll kind of have to smuggle this quilt out, so yeah. I have my ways, so that'll be fine, but we really can't do it again. Okay? Okay, well, I'm so glad you came back in and didn't give up on me after last time. I think it's going to be a really beautiful quilt, and I'm excited to see what sort of magic I'll be doing for you. Okay. Well, don't forget silver thread, anti-anxiety pills, gold thread, and let me know which one you want. Okay, we'll be in touch. And remember, mum's the word. Thank you for joining us for this week's Tingledom Tuesday. There's a new video in Tingledom every single Tuesday. If you liked this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. If you're new to Tingledom, be sure to hit subscribe, or else you may never find it again. I do a daily ASMR video, a different theme every day, so you can check out Map Mondays, Whisper Wednesdays, Food Fridays, and of course our Tingledom Tuesdays. Be sure to comment down below for your chance to be featured in my monthly viewers appreciation video on the 25th of each month. And have a very relaxing